So hello again. Today I'm also going to report to you about two lectures that I've watched by Judy Gilbert and Albert Underhill. Sorry, Adrian Underhill. So, at the beginning of the first lecture by Judy Gilbert, she said that simplicity is the key. I was puzzled because I just thought how some phonetic processes, phrases, issues, and so on can be easy to understand and to do and to make, and so on. I really was puzzled, but then I remember such words. I don't really remember who said them, but they were about something like all big and serious and complicated things are usually easy to solve, and the first decision that you make is the right decision, the first easy decision that you make. So I understood this phrase and what she tried to say. At first, she mentioned some problems that block our accent and good pronunciation. She mentioned some of them, and I'd like to speak to you about two because I've experienced them by myself. So the first one was not enough time, and I know what it's like because sometimes you have really you have like 5 important things to do, and you don't know how to start, what to start with, and so on, and you just think, oh, I don't have time for all of that. But the solution to this problem is prioritize. So you should put the things like the most important, less important, and not really important, and do them according to the list of priority. I think it's a very handy advice. Another problem is connected with discouragement. I've experienced it. Also, I had such strange situations, even people who made me think, why am I doing this? Why am I studying this language? I don't like it. I hate it. I don't want to attend classes. I don't want to do this exercise. I don't want to work with this person. I hate his or her attitude, and so on. And Judy Gilbert was speaking about situations abroad. I've also experienced them when I was in the US or in the UK. I was speaking to my host family or friends there, and they were listening to me, and then they said, can you repeat, please? Can you please tell me these sentences or this situation, what you're talking about in other words? And it was a pain. I didn't know what to say, I didn't know what to do. And the solution to this problem, according to Judy Gilbert's presentation, is learnable tasks. She said that one thing at a time, and then build them together. I agree with her. I think it's the right thing to do. I can't say that I know what she's talking about, because I didn't really teach someone to teach someone. I haven't taught someone, sorry. but I hope that someday it will help me. I also like her expression, and I think that somehow, somewhere in my works and so on, it will appear. Because just listen to this: the linguistic melody is a group of tones that work together to get a job done. I agree with this expression, and it's true to life thing, and I really liked it. Also, I was glad that I've coped with some exercise that she offered. They were on punctuation, and I coped with them happily. I liked that she tried to make this system of phonetic terms easy to understand, because she was speaking about the prosody pyramid that consists of thought group, focus word, stressed syllable, and peak vowel. I think it's a great innovation that you can remember easily and recall all the terms, how to analyze the sentence, how to find the communicative center, how to stress here and there, how to speak with the correct intonation, and so on. She also mentioned an interesting pedagogical problem. She said that all elements of the prosody pyramid are interdependent. They occur at the same time, but we can't teach everything at the same time. The solution to this problem is template sentence, which brings us to, I guess, the key of the whole lecture. It brings us to the quality repetition. She was speaking about the quality repetition as the most important thing which you can do to make a good accent, to improve your pronunciation. Because it's all about strength building. When you repeat something, a correct sentence, a correct word, with the correct pronunciation, I mean, it makes you strong, it makes you confident about your accent. And I really liked her French example. I guess it was connected with qu'est-ce que c'est. And I understand that as nobody else, because I've learned French for 3 years. I've been learning French for 3 years, and I know that it is a hard language, and people who think that you should just simply learn the rules and everything will be according to the rules, they are wrong, and maybe they will feel discouragement in French, because you should just understand their system, like in every language, I guess. Also, Judy mentioned that people who just study, who just start studying every language, they basically have two problems. Some of them drop syllables and other add syllables. And I also loved her, I loved her example with Spanish people who usually add a sound to every unknown word, every word that starts with the s sound or some unpleasant sounds for them. And I also can understand this example, because now I'm studying Spanish, and we can find these things everywhere in the manual. So it's a really great feeling to understand what Judy's talking about. I was impressed by her example with the butterfly on the picture. She said that in English important things should be highlighted, and English in general is all about highlighting things, important things. She was speaking about contractions. However, I think that this expression can be used everywhere, connecting with content, words, focus words, the communicative center, the intonation. Everything should be highlighted correctly. She also was speaking about the schwa sound, and I liked her example with schwa integrity. And when she said that there was a situation when teacher tried to explain to her students what it is and how this sound exists, and she said that schwa steps aside to let other vowels shine. I think it's a great phrase. I guess if someday I will teach someone, I will use that, because this phrase and these words can be easy to understand for beginners and for advanced, and they easily shows us the main aim of schwa existence, I guess, if I can say so. As for techniques, Judy Gilbert mentioned a lot of techniques, and I'm going to speak about them now. So the first one was the pitch change. She she called it inexpensive pitch extractor. I find this way to make you pay attention to the intonation, main info of the sentences, and your accent interesting and very productive. It is also interesting to see how it works, because it makes really funny sound, and that's how students and people become interested in this activity and this practice. And I think that it's great. It's great to involve people in the studying process by such funny activities. The next one is a rubber band. Judy finds this technique as most useful and helpful thing to teach pronunciation. I find it very easy to do, and I was practicing it with while I was watching the video. Another technique is called a walkabout. She said that one of her friends, one of her colleagues, shared it with her. It means walk around, so if you are in a place where you can walk, you can pronounce some sentences, some words, some dialogues, and make big steps for long vowels. That's how you pay attention to the length of the vowel. Also a very useful technique, I guess. My favorite one is to raise your eyebrows, because I think that it's the most challenging one, Because when you start thinking and controlling your emotions, and as we all know, it's hard to speak without any facial emotions and facial activity. And this technique needs real concentration. It's really hard. You should look sorry, but you should look like an idiot, and you should speak like this, and you should stress the communicative center and the content words with your eyebrows. I find this technique really helpful, and I also think that it will be fun for students. They will laugh and they will smile and they will remember in this way they will remember how to pronounce things, how to stress them correctly. And the last but not the least technique is student practice. She was speaking about student practice in pairs, and I agree with her, because we work like this every day, and students start listening to each other more precisely, and correct each other's mistakes, and somehow improve their accents, their pronunciation. Moreover, I know that if you work with a person who is better than you in something, maybe in grammar, or maybe in pronouncing sound, and so on, you try to be like him, to become like him or her. Like, yes. And you try to copy their manner of speaking, and you try to become an expert. So I agree with Judy Gilbert that it's a good technique to improve your accent and pronunciation. As for thoughts, I've learned I guess the most important thing, that we always have time for practice, even if we don't have time, if we have no time. And I also remember her example about her brother, who was going to LA, was driving to LA, and he tried to improve his Spanish sound r. And even sorry and I know that it's a very important sound, because, for example, you can say perro. It means dog, doggy, small dog. And when you say perro, it means butt. So, we may think he was driving, and his hands and were involved in the driving process. Why not to practice? I agree with her. I also did some quizzes. I did 2 tests, and I got 5 out of 5 points. They were called American English Number and American English Intonation Patterns, and I was glad that I was correct in all answers. And I noticed that these and those tests were really interesting. They were new. They were really well developed. Because it's easy to learn the information, but it's hard to realize what you have learned. And these tests help you to realize what you have learned and to use your knowledge. So as you can see, I was impressed by this lecture and by Judy Gilbert's website. Sorry.